you want to get what you want, you have to understand people. And if you want to understand people, I can sum up the 100% of people's behavior in one sentence, okay? You ready? People act in their own self-interest at all times. That is the only fucking sentence you need to know to understand people. People act in their own self-interest at all times. No matter what they fucking say, they are always doing it so they feel good. I don't care if it's having children, going to church, becoming, part of a movement. It doesn't matter how much they say I did this for you, or I'm doing this for God, or I'm doing this for the kids, or I'm having kids for society. They're not. Everyone chases pleasure and avoids pain. Everyone does something, every single fucking thing they do, because they think it will bring them pleasure. They think it will bring them more happiness, okay? In every single fucking aspect of life, everyone acts in their own self-interest at all times, no matter what fucking thing they tell you. And if they tell you they don't act in their self-interest, they are either unaware or a fucking liar, okay? I act in my own self-interest at all times. I am selfish at all times, even when I'm helping you or talking to my mom. I'm doing it because it makes me feel good, all right? Doesn't mean it's a win-lose situation. I try and make everything a win-win situation, but I'm doing it because it makes me feel happy. It makes me feel happy, even if I'm doing a charity. I'm doing it because it makes me feel good to help those kids. Or I'm talking to my mom and helping her with something because it makes me feel good to help my mom. Or I'm doing these videos and I genuinely want to help, but I'm doing it because it makes me feel good to do it, okay? You cannot get away from yourself. You cannot get away from your own self-interest, and you cannot not do things with the intention of gaining pleasure and avoiding suffering. It's how everyone works. So that's what you got to understand. All right. So understanding that people act in their own self-interest, and their true self-interest is to be happy. All right. That's what everyone wants all the time. Everyone wants to be as happy as humanly possible. So what do? You want to get people to like you. You understand people. You make them fucking happy. You give them what they want. You give people what they want, all right? For example, in my site, I give you guys hope, positivity, practical strategies, motivation, how to get laid, all those things that you want, and you determine the content of this site. I choose what kind of videos and articles I'm gonna do based on the response I get from you guys, okay? I don't determine this shit. I determine what I think is valuable, but what meets my standards, but you determine what the content is. When I first started this site, I was starting and writing for myself, but over time it evolved. I realized I need to write for what you guys want, all right? Which was completely different for what I wanted when I was, just starting out. So I'm doing this for you, all right? I'm giving you guys what you want. When I'm talking to someone new, I'm trying to make them happy. I put myself second, all right? Put myself second. There's a book called Leaders Eat Last. If you're a leader who eats last, your team is always going to be happy. When you put your team first, or when you put the other person first, when you put the other person first to some degree, you're going to be taken care of, all right? Assuming that they're going to hold up their end of the bargain. If they don't, if you extend the option to put them first or to do something for them and they don't extend it back, then you get rid of them. But for, you always want to extend that option. You want to extend that value. And in return, I give hope and practical strategies and all this stuff. In return, I get money and validation and satisfaction, and I get to feel good. And hopefully you get to feel good, and then it's a win-win situation. Because I'm doing this in the sense that I understand people, all right? There's no fucking donation jar on my site because no one wants to fucking give money. They want to give money or they want to buy my books because I'm solving a problem for them. I'm acting in their self-interest. You have this problem, here's the solution. All right. I'm to get people to buy into you. You have to understand them. And if you want them to like you and you want to get what you want, understand them and give them what they want. It's very fucking simple. Understand they act in their self-interest and give them things that are in their self-interest. So simple, but so many people fuck this up because all they care about is what they want. When you give people what they want, then you get what you want. All right. Very fucking simple. Number 4. Final point, Add motherfucking value. Add value, add value, add value, add value. This is the most important one. Here's the reality. The only person who loves you for you no matter what is your mom. Your dad, maybe, but for sure your mom, hopefully your mom. No one else, okay? Everyone else, you're only as good as the value you add. I don't care if it's your friends, if it's your clients, if it's your girlfriend. I don't care if your girlfriend says she's gonna love you forever, no matter what. Not true. She's only gonna love you as long as you provide value for her life. Even your oldest friends, if you've been friends with them for 15 years, but you start to get really negative and you get hooked on drugs and you're fucking up everyone's life, they're gonna get rid of you, all right? Same with your clients. If you don't service the fuck out of your clients, if you don't service your clients better than everyone else, someone's gonna come around and take your clients and take your money because your clients are unhappy. You are only as good as the fucking value you offer, all right? Now, I don't mean good in the sense of your self-worth. Everyone deserves to feel that they have self-worth and to be respected. I mean that you're only as good in getting what you want from people as the value you offer, and you never fucking forget it, all right? Never think that you're bigger than the game, and the game is the game of life, and that applies to women or that applies to business. The second you start thinking, I can coast on my heels, I don't have to give value anymore, is the second you start losing your shit, right? The second I start fucking coasting on this site, you're gonna go off and read or watch someone else. The second you start coasting with that girl and stop adding value, she's gonna go fuck some other guy. It's not gonna happen right away. All right, it might take a couple of years to get to that point. Or, you know, you might stay together 10 years in an unhappy marriage because, you know, social conditioning means she doesn't want to leave, but you've lost her mentally and you've lost her in here. All right, same goes with your guy friends. You always want to be the guy who's adding value. All right, always, always, always. All right, the best way to get what you want is to add value. It's very simple. It's very similar to understanding people. All right. Add value to get value. Add value to get value. To get what you want, give people what they want. To get value from others, give them value. All right? Always be giving value. And internalize that into your persona, that you're always giving value. And it might feel strange at first, but you really get used to it and you feel good about giving value, even if you don't get value out of that person. Even if you don't get value out of that person, you still feel like you did a good deed. You're accumulating good karma. You're living in the light. You know, if you believe in God, you know, you feel like you've done something towards, you know, the greater, you know, living in your higher self. Okay, adding value means you're not living in lower consciousness where you're just fucking leashing value. You're living in higher consciousness where you're adding value. Instead of just fucking consuming everything, you're producing. Instead of hating, you're creating.